Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. You know, I think we live in a beautiful time where we can just get online and find information about anything we want to know about, right? Whether it's fitness, whether it's, relationships, whether it's investing, anything. You can get online and find something about it. But what I'm noticing, and what I think everybody is aware of, is that a lot of people that are getting online that are sharing, their content, a lot of these people, are really just going off of what they've, experienced and what they've heard, and now they're sharing that with the world. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, because I think people are really trying to help the next man or the next sister to get ahead, right? But what we have to admit, there are very few people that on the deepest of levels know what they're talking about, right? If a person is talking about, whether it's investing in stocks, if you can't tell me why a certain thing is happening, like why the numbers are going up or down, then you really don't know what you're talking about. If you want to talk about, relationships, if you can't tell me why men and women do certain things at certain times, then you really don't know what you're talking about. Even in fitness, I remember when I first met brother SPK. Y'all know SPK, that was on my channel. And the brother had a program, and I reached out to him. And I was just talking to him about different things. And when the brother, you can get online and find something about, go to the gym 2 or 3 times a day and yada, 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 and you'll lose weight. But when this brother started breaking down, proteins and all this other stuff, man, and it got foreign to me, I said, brother, name your price, because you know what you're talking about, right? There are very few people that know what they're talking about, right? And when it comes to manifesting, guys, I see the same thing. I see people online all the time, or a few YouTube channels, and guys are saying, hey, you know what, if you do X, if you do this, if you do that, then you'll get this result. It's like, cool. It's like, that's a good thing. But unless you can tell a person why this is happening, why if they do that, why if they do or don't do a certain thing, then they'll get a result, then you really don't know what you're talking about. And I'm telling you guys, I've lived 44 years on this planet, and I've yet to hear a person say why things are manifested or why things don't manifest, right? It's really just a lot of regurgitation of good information that's just been passed on, right? And I say this all the time. Anybody can go to anywhere. I challenge anybody on this topic. Anybody that's living in the mountains of wherever, any of the Bob Proctors, anybody. I will challenge anybody on this topic, because I've yet to hear anybody tell me why. And it's taken me, 20 plus years to find out myself, right? And the thing is this: what I want for my brothers, or what I want for myself, is the same thing that I want for my brothers. That's why I'm always talking about this thing. Matter of fact, let me just put this plug in there. If you want to get the recipe, if you have got the recipe, still running the Black Friday sale. Price is originally $97. I've been running it 60% off. But now it's down to 90% off, $9 and change. I'll probably run that for the rest of the week. So if you haven't got the recipe, go and get the recipe if you like it, right? But the question always comes up on why a person doesn't manifest a certain thing, right? And just to skim the top of it without going just deep in it like I did, in the masterclass, one of the main reasons that people aren't manifesting is because they've yet to set intentions. I'm telling you that we live in a world where a lot of people are still just dreamers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can talk a good game about what they want to do. And you're going to hear, it's December the 1st. Everybody's getting ready to talk about, 2021 is going to be my year. It's going to be my year. I'm about to shine. But these people are going to do the same thing they did in 2020, 2019, 2018. Nothing will change because a lot of people talk a good game, but they don't set intentions. And when I set intentions, what I'm saying is you have to calculate your moves. You have to put on paper what it is you want and how you're going to get there, guys. You have to set your intentions. A lot of people know what they want. For example, a lot of people say, you know what? I want to make X amount of dollars this month or this year. Or I want to meet my dream woman or my dream man this year. Or I want to take a trip to Hawaii. Or I want to go to Dubai. See, everybody knows what they want, but they aren't moving toward it. You know what I'm saying? The brothers I talk to on a regular basis that ask about, for example, travel. Oh, you want to go to Dubai? Well, how much does it cost to go to Dubai? I haven't looked into it. It's like, well, you haven't set any intentions. You're trying to buy a home next year. What do the homes cost? What kind of square footage you want? Nobody's actually moving toward it. So we need to go from dreaming to setting intentions to becoming men of action, which I just talked about that in a recent video. So that's one of the first reasons why people don't manifest. They aren't setting intentions. The second reason I would say is because they aren't burning the candle on both ends. And this is what I mean when I say that. See, there are a lot of people that when they first understand how this whole creation works, creation process works, how we as human beings work, right? A lot of people get this understanding and they'll start meditating. They'll start going into deeper thought. They'll start going to the other side and in an attempt to create this life. And they're doing it, right? They're doing that process right. But then they'll come out of that and they'll come back into this third dimension and they'll continue to move like they've always moved. So when I say you need to burn the candle on both ends, what I'm saying is the person that you're creating on the other side, you have to be that person in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? If you're a guy that's going from making 20K a year to making 60 or 70K a year, then when you're walking around this earth, you need to move like a man that's making that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a sister and you're desiring this husband and you're meditating and you're creating this husband, then you can't come back in this world, in this third dimension and have thotty behavior. You know what I'm saying? You can't be twerking up in the clubs. You can't be hitting every bar, doing things that you wouldn't do if you didn't already have a man. See, it's all about acting as if. When I say burn the candle on both ends, that life that you create, you have to already be that person. So if you're a man or if you're a woman and in your mind you have this perfect mate, then when you come back to this reality, this third dimension reality, you have to act as if. You have to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. The second thing is you have to burn the candle on both ends. And I could go deeper into that, man, as far as higher self, lower self, becoming one, when the Bible says when two come together and all that stuff. But watch the recipe if you want to get deeper on that stuff, right? Now, the last thing on why people aren't manifesting, and I'll be honest, this one here, it almost angers me. It angers me because people are actually being misled from this, right? And it's praying without ceasing, right? And this is what I mean. See, the majority of us grew up in the church and, we heard what the pastor had to say and we saw the deacons get up and pray and all this stuff. But what I have a problem with is what we're being taught is prayer. It is not prayer. It's actually not even close to being prayer. What we've been taught to do in our churches and before dinner and all this stuff, what we've been taught is to give affirmations. The affirmations aren't bad for those that need affirmations, but let's not confuse it with prayer. You know what I'm saying? The Bible that preachers read out of every Sunday clearly say, don't be like those that go on the street corners and say these things. Don't be like those that do whatever and have these repetition repetitive words that they say. It's clear cut. But because that's not what prayer is. If that's what prayer is, then somebody, anybody, tell me, how can you do that and never stop? So when the Bible says to pray without ceasing, how can you do that and never stop? It's because you can't. It's because it's not prayer. Prayer in a nutshell is simply a state of mind, right? So when you set your intentions, right? When you begin to burn the candle on both ends, you go into a state, whatever that state is, you go into that state and you never come out of it. I'm going to say it again. When you set your intentions, once you burn the candle on both ends and become the person you want to be, you go into that state and you never come out. That's what prayer without ceasing is. What do I mean by that, right? Let's say you're a young man and you're living in some undesirable conditions. What I mean by that is you hate the place you live, you hate the place you work, you hate the woman you're dating, you're hating everything about your life, right? And you want change. Let's first go back to, setting intentions. You first have to know what it is you want. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can sit there and talk about the life they don't want. What is it that you want? Spell that thing out. Write it down. What do you want to live? What kind of woman do you want? What kind of job or career do you want to be in? You know what I'm saying? And move toward that. Then you start burning the candle on both ends. This person you're creating is the person you have to be in the third D, right? And the thing is, when I say prayer without ceasing and going into that state and never coming out of it, what I'm really saying is this. Once that new person is established, you've redefined who you are, you have to completely crucify that old self. Completely crucify. In other words, there's no going back to it. That person is now dead. So even though you're still in these undesirable conditions, you're not the same person. Matter of fact, people won't even respond to you the same because now you're somebody else. So when I say pray without ceasing, go into that state, never come out. And I'm telling you, brothers, the world has no choice but to change. The world has no choice but to change. Now I could easily just tell you that and leave it alone. But if you go into the recipe, you'll get the full breakdown on why this happens. See, this is not wishful thinking, man, or a roll of the dice. What I'm talking about is a law. If you do certain things in a certain way, you will get certain results. But I'm telling you how. Again, check the recipe out. It's on sale. Black Friday, I'll probably run it another week or just until I just feel like, ending that thing. But yeah, we got to tighten up. And the reason I want to talk about this, because there's a lot of things I've wanted to talk about, which the recipe is one, and I put that together. But there's some things that I'm talking about before the rest of this month is over. We got the path we're talking about on Patreon. And I got some other stuff that's going to be coming out before December is over with. And the reason I want to talk about that is because we got to get ready, guys, for what's coming up next. I don't know if y'all feel it. I know a lot of y'all do, but there are a lot of things that are going to be taking place in 2021. And we just got to get ourselves in position.